cars are not okay. They are very rough.
Who saw the accident happen? Who saw the accident happen? Who were around when it happened?
This model is going like this. From this Ikorodu area, and the tanker was going this side.
Okay.
Maybe there was no brake in the motors, I don't know.
It's not having brake.
Brake brake. So from that area, I said the motorway was coming from Ikorodu, and the tanker was going maybe to Mushin area. But the motorway made the fair brake.
Coming from the Ikorodu road?
Yes, all the way. Driver lost control and then traveled over to this side.
To this lane?
Yes.
And move in front of the
tanker. That's what came out. It was the motorway.
The motorway was not have gotten a proper brake. The motorway lost control, coming on the bridge, and now jumped to the other lane.
Everything is on my own presence. I was there. Something by 4 o'clock. Amazing, it was doing a tire there. And the motor was
fixing the tire.
The tire
on the road.
It was the main road.
After the bridge.
From the bridge. So the motor was running from the bridge. So as the way the motor is rushing, he did not know that the benzines are in the front. He was pressing his brake. Immediately he matched the brake. He don't want to wound the benzines. That's why he crossed to the other side. Immediately he crossed to the other side. A trailer was coming from this side. So the way he's coming, that's how they hit it.
On the service road.
Yes. Then the very people died there. There's almost 40 people in the vehicle. Yes.
45 people.
45 people.
Yes. There are only 5.
Only 5.
And in general hospitals, you know the way to take care of them because nobody is going to.
In general hospital.
Because nobody is going to take care of them. Because no one has accident, people has been helped. Even the person tell you, say you come and see let me talk. They never know.
Are you finished talking? So, they've taken us to mortuary.
Exactly what you not told.
Exactly what they were saying.
The more left cross from the other lane now. It comes today.
in with it. Okay. Just what's this thing?
Watch me.
20. Yeah. Just today, 20th of January, year 2000. We just came from Ministry of Public Transportation to look at the accident scene that happened involving a Molue vehicle carrying about 45 passengers, as well as a tanker that collided yesterday. Not too long, there was also an accident involving this Volvo car that you can see. What happened to the Volvo car is that it was coming on the bridge from Europe, and because the tire rod went off suddenly, the vehicle somersaulted, and the owner of this vehicle is already in the hospital. The tire rod that got on and under the vehicle. Under the vehicle. This is the tire rod. So the tire rod got hot, and the vehicle lost control and somersaulted. So these are just the simple things the government is encouraging motorists to be MOT compliant. If this particular driver has fixed the tire rod of the vehicles properly, if it's properly checked, this accident will not happen. He's now lying critically ill in the nearby hospital here at Ejuelegba. Thank you very much. Driver of the Volvo that somersaulted this morning. We want to see his condition. That's why we are here from the ministry.
This man is
Are you doing that? Okay, you are the Okada man. Okay, where were you before the Volvo car had an accident? You are riding an Okada.
I like an Okada.
Yes.
He followed me at back.
Yes.
Small that I hear chew at my back and hit me.
He hit you from the back.
On the back.
You know. And what injuries did you sustain? So these are the injuries that you sustained. So where is your Okada? He's there now. Is this alright, or do you have
a problem? Yeah.
Your Okada has problem? Can we see the Okada? So this is your Okada vehicle. What do you think caused the accident? You are just going in front.
I just going in front. Or suddenly, and maybe the fair brake, and they apply from.
He did what?
Maybe a fair brake. They don't know.
He failed brake.
I don't know.
Okay.
So he applied brake, either front brake. I don't know. But I hear sure at my back and hit me.
Yeah, and hit you. Yes, and you've been in the hospital since.
Yes,
since it happened.
Yes, sir.
Are you having any pains?
I have the pains.
You have pains.
Yes, sir.
Is this the first time you are encountering this kind of accident on the road?
It's our first time.
It's your first time?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been riding your Okada?
Almost 8 years.
8 years.
Yes, sir.
Where's your helmet?
My helmet.
Yeah, did you put on any helmet?
Yes, it's with me now, but you black. Yeah. It's here now. Black. I will put helmet there first.
Around what time?
Just this morning.
7:97.
No. After should be after 8 or after
What of the driver of the vehicle? Yes. Yes, driver. Come with the driver.
Carry or carry.
Want to see the driver of the vehicle? Want to see the driver of the vehicle? Yes, yeah, take us to him. Hello. Involving an Okada and a Volvo car. We just want to see the condition of that particular driver. Yeah, we know, we are here officially. Yeah, we have to go. I was just heard of the accident that happened this morning involving the Okada rider and the driver of the Volvo car. We've seen the patient, the Okada rider, and the driver. The information we gathered was that the Okada rider was going in front, while the Volvo vehicle was behind, and suddenly maybe lost his brake.
What is this like that? What is this for? Please stay outside.
So
Stay outside, please.
and the accident.
Stay outside, please. I'll see all of you outside.
Yeah, sorry, doctor.
No, we can talk here.
So and
Please come up here. Please take your thing.
the ministry's hospitality when this accident like this happened, for us to follow up to the condition of the
patient condition.
Yes, and then to determine the degree, of the accident.
It has a date and then supervision, but we switch away, clean the surface and put 2 stitches to stop the bleeding. But as it is too oozing now, we are going to enlarge the wound.
We are going to enlarge
It was only around this side before.
Yes.
Now we're going to enlarge it on this side so that we can actually pick any bleeder from inside. You see? It's not enough to switch away. We have to pick anything of it when we are satisfied. Then we will close it to become the bigger. But it's not going to lose the arm, it's not going to last the bottom of it. What is all this? I mean, you said you came to inquire. What I always tell them, if they have been brought in here, carried, I will tell you to go to Lagos State Hospital, where they will not even ask them to pay. They paid over 3,000, 4,000, and for the 2 people. Whereas it cost them nothing, at least the first 24 hours. They find that food, nothing people down, hey, they come there. They can't pay, and we cannot afford. You see, so they are part of the expenses in the private hospital. In fact, we are using our former resources maybe to run this place, to pay people salaries. Some of my staff have not been paid, my doctor has not been paid for 3 months. They are not on strike or anything like that. So we don't make anything out of this. No, what is this? You came with it.
So do you think the patient will be discharged today?
They would have gone, but they came by man that the doctor said he wanted to observe.
I hope there are no head injuries because we gathered the vehicle somersaulted and we could see the impact on the windscreen.
No, she was also.
What's your name?
Yes, I'm Femi Igulua. I'm the director. Igulua. Yes, I'm director of transportation and policy and coordination. So thank you very much.
All right. The other patient is outside.
Yes, we've already seen another patient. Okay, you are in the car with the driver. Okay, what now happened? The brake failed. Okay.
The Okada man ran in front of them all of a sudden, and he wanted
to apply
all of a sudden, the man, Okada driver usual maneuvering, that just came. So immediately he just saw the guy in front of him. He now wanted to just apply his brake. I think the car just somersaulted because it was a sudden. My car was 2 cars ahead of them. I work with Magnum Trust Bank.
Okay.
Whatever. Yeah. So I was very happy to see. What I was 2 cars ahead of him. And all of a sudden, I just heard some scratch, and I was like, "What's happening here?" And I looked back. I was going back to the office. I was coming from the village. I was going back to the office, and I saw. So I came down from the car, and I quickly brought the guy out. I was the one that brought him to the hospital. What happened actually was the Okada guy was going by the side. Initially, he was on this side. The guy just shunted and came in front of him. So immediately he saw, they were about the edge of the bridge. Immediately he saw the guy just apply brake, and the car just took off. She's okay, no injury. They've examined her. So what now actually happened was, all of a sudden the Okada guy just came in front of him. So you know, when he now saw the Okada guy in front of him, maybe so I think the car, instead of the brake to hold the car, just like that, the car just
went
moved.
And somersaulted.
The car was facing up now. All I had, in fact, the car moved some distance. There was a screech. So it was the screech that we heard. It was the screech that we heard. So I looked back. I was sitting in front of my driver. So I was like, what happened? I looked back and I just saw the guy. I saw the car there. So I had to come out. I ran towards him and I saw that people were inside the car trying to bring them out. Immediately I brought them. They were together. So immediately I brought the guy out. I just said, bring them to the hospital here.
Okay.
I think something should be done about these Okada people. You know, they're causing us a lot of damages.
Thank you very much. Since the doctor said he has to come.
No, you see, he would have gone. He would have gone. So, you know, thank God he's an elderly man. He's the one that owns the street. Right? He's the one that examined the guy himself. You know, and he said the guy should wait. He wants to see. So the guy would have gone. All of a sudden, the man said he should wait, and they've been examining the thing. They just saw that it's dripping. Blood is still coming out. So they have to take him back. They said they will expand the thing, and I don't know, in medical terms, whatever. That's why it was there. I'm sure he will.
We even realized that he lost his thyroid.
Yeah.
Yes, the thyroid is completely gone.
Yeah.
So it must have been part of this negligence of not keeping the vehicles fit for the road. Because if the brake and the thyroid has been adequate, I'm sure we have been able to put the car to stop before hitting
but you see, at the same time, you know, it's descending from the bridge. It could be due to that, and you know, it's a Volvo car, you know, it's heavy on ground. So I think it was just an impulse thing. Thing happened just like that, and you quickly just applied the brake. I think
in highway engineering, there's something we call reaction perception time, and it is in seconds. So if the vehicle is not functional well, before the message gets to the driver and it takes action to apply the brake, that reaction perception is in seconds. And once the component of the vehicle is not in order, definitely you are bound to miss it.
True.
Because it is just a matter of seconds. You know, you have to take decision and take action.
The reaction is spontaneous.
It's spontaneous.
It's not something that you think about.
Yeah.
You react almost immediately. I think basically that's what happened.
So anyway, thank you very much at least for bringing him to the hospital, you know, and saving a life. You know, we thank you very much for that.
I'm a part of the MOT.
Yeah, thank you.
So maybe I'm playing my own part of the MOT day. And after that, I'll get him to take for the MOT and see his car examined. And at the garages, they will ensure that the car is in order.
Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Yes, we hear from Lagos State Minister of Transportation. We learned of the accident involving a Molue commercial vehicle and a tanker yesterday. Where some lives were lost, and we gathered at the scene that some people severe injury, which we thought they would have been brought to this hospital. So we just wanted to give us updates if they are here or not.
Okay, well, they're in the casualty. It's just on your left, straight down. The casualty is upstairs there. We'll be able to attend to they're all there. The other observations I've made is that we still have Molues, standing in the middle of expressway to discharge the passengers, which is wrong. And I think this should be arrested. That's one of the common causes of accidents. There's a separate line for them where they can easily go and discharge their passengers. And this needs to be policed, especially with the Ghana-Nigeria Cup of Nations coming in 2000. We need to keep the accidents down.
Thank you for that observation. Actually, they are not supposed to stop on the expressway. That's why on the Ikorodu Road there is a service lane. And we even have the laybys there for them to even park off the carriageway. But the ministry will rise up to that to curtail the commercial vehicles from loading and unloading on the expressway.
Either they are prevented, or if they do, then they are penalized.
They are penalized. But
Once they are penalized once or twice, they won't do it again.
Thank you for that observation.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Patients that are involved in the crash together by yesterday.
They are all the patients that were brought in. Alright, let me check if there's any procedure going on.
Okay. Just telling you for the Honorable Commissioner for Transportation, Lagos State. A lot of the accidents that happened yesterday in Juelegba involving a truck and a commercial motorway. Some people lost their life, and we were told that some people had injuries. They've been brought into orthopedic hospital. That's why we just come here on behalf of the Honorable Commissioner to see the patients and see how they are feeling.
I would, at this juncture, like to invite the medical officer in charge. At least let him be aware that you are around since you are coming.
Yes, yes.
We'll be here in a moment. 16 of them.
16?
Yes. At a go, yes.
At a go.
Unfortunately, 3 of them were brought in dead. So they were just examined. Yes. They were examined and taken to the mortuary. You know, some of them have been identified since. Some relatives have come to inquire after them, and they have gone to the mortuary to identify some of them.
So out of the 16, 3 were brought dead. You know, so you have about 13 of them left. Can we just see the situation?
Mr. Folonshaw Amusa. Folonshaw. He's only speaking.
He's only speaking.
So he's still needing suture big separation where he the rest. That's Folonshaw.
That's Folonshaw. Okay.
Trailer.
Okay, driver. Oh, it's
trailer. It's not.
He's the motor boy. You are the motor boy for the trailer. Okay. What about the driver?
Driver, I don't go much.
Okay. So you were in the vehicle too?
No, he wasn't.
Okay.
He was in the vehicle. What's the name of the vehicle? Okay, he was not in the vehicle.
Okay, you are not in the vehicle.
This one.
You are in the vehicle?
They were in the vehicle.
Okay. Has any of them talked to experience of what happened?
Can you remember what happened?
Okay, can you narrate some little about what happened?
That time we had to go Ojuelegba, no, Ijora Bricosu. I just entered motor from Inopa, Molwe. I entered Inopa from Molwe. That time when they carry us go from Ojuelegba, reach Ojuelegba, it just can't turn like this. All the motorway they that side now, petrol tankers with all some motor dampo. Now the way we accidents happen like that. So I don't know anything because I reached here. Okay. Yeah, I say.
So you didn't know how you got here. You just found yourself here.
Just
What's the name?
my name is Adiolu. Adiolu.
Adiolu what?
Olawumi.
Olawumi. Okay. Sorry about that. On behalf of the Commissioner for Transportation Lagos State, we wish you quick recovery of health. We will report this back to the Current Commissioner and we will transfer this to the...
ní àfẹ́ lójú ẹgbà nínú kó jẹ́ kí mi bọ́ sílẹ̀ torí nǹkan tó ń wà láti onípa tó wà láti fàdé dé ojú ẹlẹ́gbà yẹn kò ń ṣe nǹkan tó dáa mo lè ní kó jẹ́ kí n bọ́lẹ̀ mi ìdẹ̀ lè bọ́lẹ̀ mọ́ ó ti speed kọjá nǹkan tí mo fi lè bọ́lẹ̀ easy nìyẹn sọ Ọlọ́run ni ò pa mí.
Sorry. We wish you quick recovery. We will mention you to the Honorable Commissioner for Transport as well as the Governor. The driver died instantly. For the Molue driver died instantly.
Meet Dr. Adeyanju.
Dr. Adeyanju, nice to meet you. I'm standing for the Honorable Commissioner for Transportation in Lagos. We learned of the incident. We visited the scene. And just on the spot, we were told that some of them were brought into your hospital. And the meeting has already told us that about 16 of them were brought in, 3 brought in bed, and the remaining 13 receiving treatment. Yes, we will just go around all of them, and we will report this back to the Honorable Commissioner, who will inform His Excellency. Maybe he'll be coming here later too, at least to see them, and for government to do something to assist them. Alright, so thank you very much. Thank you, man.
He was among them, but he's been treated home together with the child. The child had some injury, mainly attention. So the child will be admitted. Okay, but he is able to go. But you can see the picture of having been
the bloodstream.
All they were wearing. She was involved.
Sorry. The child was involved.
She was one of them. Yes, she was involved.
Sorry.
She enjoyed
Sorry. From some time.
Were you in the boat? No. What?
That's all.
She was with her brother. That's in the mother. That's her brother.
Okay.
And they both.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's okay now.
No, not. She's
still unconscious.
She's conscious, but she's still needing attention.
Okay, we will still go and see him. No problem.
Should have done that.
Yes.
She's one of them too. In the same accident with the others. Some of them have been taken to the X-ray and the theater.
Okay.
So, because they were needing some laceration to be sutured. So they were taken earlier this morning. They continued this morning. The things that will not be done for them. Comments. And they are responding.
Yes.
That's why we are here, and Ngobi is known for that. unfortunate that some of them, the 3 that died before they got to the hospital.
That's information. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You shouldn't just leave your premises without saying
I'm very grateful. You're welcome. And regards to the commissioner.
We are aware of what is on the ground. One of our chief admin officers will take you to the consultant in charge of casualty. He will be able to brief you fully about the happenings. So he's taking you.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
I was hoping that I would have an opportunity to talk to you about this new, how is it going? Psyche, please sit down.
Engagement that will actually reveal the hospitality and this given to the patient. We not think we are brought dead and none again as accidents they were here. So we quite appreciate this. We mentioned this also to His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State. So thank you very much.
We have excellent staff there, although our working conditions are not the best. I hope they will improve. Just moved in here last weekend. I'm counting my days, but I hope that he said that I left a better team here than I left. I had wanted to talk to somebody from Lagos. I found a few journalists coming in about these MOTs. Do you mind if we just talk about it? Quite honestly, I'm 100% behind the MOTs. I think every vehicle should be road. But I have a few quarrels. One, I think, for the average person, considering the economic situation, 1,000 naira is a little bit exorbitant. For me, I probably can survive it, but most other people, when they most people on the roads complain. I won't be surprised if there is a resistance when we start enforcing from February. Like I said, I've been there all day trying to, because the person who was supposed to sign my certificate wasn't on the spot, but the other people tested and checked everything because I got ready before I was there. Now there are a few things I want to mention from my own experience here. I will agree with you that the accident rate in Lagos is the highest in the country in terms of number. But also Lagos State has about 40% the volume of the national traffic. I'm sure you realize that. So when we now actually look at it, volume of traffic, number of accidents, probably isn't as alarming as one would want to think it is. That is one. Two, from my own figures, because I've looked at the figures in this hospital over the last 40 years. I've looked at police figures in Lagos State over the same period of time. Accident rates in Lagos may not be necessarily higher. I'm talking of rates now, not number. May not be necessarily higher than the other states. That is one thing I want you to realize. Also, from my own analysis here, morbidity and mortality in accidents in Lagos State is mainly a problem of the pedestrian. I have analyzed figures of people who died in this hospital, and I've compared with my colleagues at LU. 60 to 70% of them are either people walking along the road, or crossing the road, or just standing at the bus stop. Not people really in the vehicle. Because most of the accidents we get in Lagos are vehicle to vehicle, and Lagos traffic is relatively slow. So most of the time it is the vehicles that take the brunt and not the passengers inside. Now, a few years back there was always this cry of people knocking people down, being lynched. So a few overhead bridges were built around Lagos. Now the trouble spots those days were Ikorodu Road here, Alaba Rago, that's where this Northerners stay with their boats and all that. Then there was the barracks at Ojo, the army barracks. Then there was a Janiki where the students just strolled across and sitting in their bedrooms. Then there were a few spots along the Tinkan Island Road. And I looked at many of the history of many of our victims here. We found that most of them, were around those areas. Now, so the things that we are going to look at really are what we are doing on the roads. There are three major factors when you consider road accidents. There is the vehicle, there is the driver, and there is the road. Now we are saying the vehicles must be fit. I agree 100%. I suggested to the FRSC people in 1988, we had a conference in Benin. I told them to withdraw the licenses of all of us and retest us. If you are in North America or in Europe, you do a written test. You do an oral, then you go on to the practical test. The way most of us drive on the road, it's as if we don't really know the highway rules. Even the passengers don't know. Then the Okada people, they are a different kettle of fish entirely. But they said that was not within their jurisdictions. They couldn't do it. Now you are testing the roads. Will you kindly look at a few problems within Lagos, apart from our vehicles being fit? Most of the roads don't have any demarcations of lanes. So the local government could just jump on you and they say you cross the lane and you ask which lane, because the roads are no longer divided to lanes. So most motorists don't know whether they can change lanes, where they can change lanes, because there are no lanes. That is one. There is nothing like a bus lane anywhere in Lagos, even on federal roads. I'm saying this because I think you are in a position to effect change. And you see, because there are no bus lanes, everybody does what they like on their road. And like I said before, from my own figures here, most people who die from the roads are people who are just walking along and they are knocked down. They are completely unprotected. And once they are knocked down, the vehicles just speed off. We should have bus lanes, and everybody should know that once you get to a bus lane, even if it is 12 midnight, you shouldn't drive on a bus lane. Only buses should drive on the bus lanes. And unless we insist that every bus must have its door closed and they can only open their doors when they have come to a complete stop at the bus stop, we will not be able to reduce morbidity and mortality. Because my figures here show me that a lot of people get their ankles completely destroyed while jumping on the bus or off the bus. These are the main problems, not just you don't hit my car. Most of the accidents are not reported to the police because we just settle who repairs whose car and everybody goes off. But the people who bear the brunt are people who are walking along the road. And the buses never bother to come to a complete stop. Everybody has to jump off or on the bus. And this is the major cause of harm to human beings on Lagos roads. So if we take care of the bus lanes and make sure that the roads are well marked, and we insist that no bus can take on or discharge a passenger without coming to a full stop, we will make a great difference in the number of human beings that get injured, never mind vehicles. And I think this this concerns me personally because we see them here and they come all the time.
Through lessons like experience, being in Ikobi Hospital, we even gathered to have an Okada ward, here. We had it ourselves, how far that is true.
We have Okada records, but not
Okada ward. So, but talking about that in Lagos, it is the fatality rate. It's not, outright death is not as high when compared to 1,000 population. With other states. We will agree with you. But this has been so. I would say that 20 years ago, looking at the accidents record, both the fatality rates as well as the minor injuries, Lagos was topping. But due to the efforts being made by Lagos State government, which you have mentioned, the construction of some pedestrian bridges, all those you mentioned at Celeb Bus Stop, at last week of even these are all federal roads because they are high capacity roads truly, and because people are lazy to go on most of these bridges, and it was Lagos State government that actually constructed all those pedestrian bridges, on federal roads. I think at that time it was like talk that before federal government can construct pedestrian bridges on Lagos roads, they should allow cars to start to kill people in other parts of the country. I mean, that is the thinking. So federal land said that, well, they have to go and provide roads maybe in the northern parts of the country, other parts of the country, before they can now start to think of constructing pedestrian bridges. So based on this, Lagos State government went to I was the chief engineer in the ministry there. I think I supervised more than 10 pedestrian bridges in Lagos, and this really helped at least to reduce this fatality rate. And owing to the low speed of vehicles in Lagos, we will confirm that it is the minor accidents that are very high, vehicle to vehicle, as you mentioned, and this do happen, and that's what again necessitated the state government to think of including private vehicles in this annual MOT test, and we realize that simple things like lack of functioning brakes, functioning mirror, horn, wipers during rainy season, they cause a lot of havoc, which leads to minor accidents. And when this has ever happened, they happen right on the carriageway, and within 5 minutes, even before the vehicle owners come out, the traffic has already built up to about 1 kilometer length. So based on this, we feel that if vehicles are not sound, that is to have this simple components, it will not only help the motorists themselves, at least because the amount of money they will be spending in repairing their vehicles will be lower, and that will be a sort of gain, later on. So that comes to the fact that the 1,000 naira which the government has asked motorists in Lagos to pay is not high. If you now look at the complexity of the system itself, it sounds very simple. I just take my car for a test, but we are empowering private sector to do this test, and we are even using private bank where they pay the money into. Most of these garages, before they qualify to do the test, some of them have to put in work pits or buy hydraulic lift, provide waiting area for the customers, buy new equipment, and in a year's time after takeoff, we'll be going into things like emission tests. Some of them will have to invest up to about 500,000 naira to have this machinery. Even for the initial takeoff, they spend money on their workshops, and for them to do a proper test, we felt they should be able to earn sufficient money, at least to cover their expenses, so that it can be worthwhile. So that's why we came about that 1,000 naira is currently some private tow operators have been empowered to tow some vehicles to the Lagos State tow depot in Lagos. So that's already in progress. If at the time, about a month or 2 months ago, we had that the commercial drivers decide to pull their vehicles off the road. It was as a result of this fine. In fact, the fine was as high as 22,000 naira for a truck, because we found that many lives have been lost due to people abandoning their vehicles on the roadway. So there's an existing law that fights them.
Importation of second tires.
We will look into the law and see, but I know as part of this MOT test, there's an item there at least that you should have some tires here. At least the tread should be a minimum of about 1 mm, and extra tire, must have an extra tire and jack as well. You said you just done your test. They will have asked some of this one from you.
I buy my tires primarily. Now, from the stories I have,
Honorable Commissioner, the Permanent Secretary, Directors in the Ministry, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, transportation in the state. We will recall that yesterday, and traffic monitoring immediately with DVA. So I will just call on the Honorable Commissioner to address the gathering. Honorable Commissioner, sir.
Thank you for taking us at this short notice. This is an ad hoc, extempore press conference. It has become necessary for two reasons. The first reason is to avert what could be another problem or crisis that is threatened in Lagos State. As you all know, we briefed you and kept you fully informed about our plans for the Ministry of Transportation or MOT Test Certificate Scheme. Again, as you all know, the scheme has taken off, and at the moment we have approved over 200 test centers, and the support from the public, the import and impact and response have been tremendous, to say the least. We have had various vehicle owners on their own taking their vehicles to the various test centers and having the test done. Most have passed. Some that have failed have taken care of the defects and have passed eventually. As I speak to you, I do not know of a single vehicle that has fully, completely failed the test. As I said, if there is a defect, they are given 3 days to put that defect right, and thereafter they are passed and the certificate is issued. Also, it is pertinent to note that the necessity for a roadworthiness test has been a mandamus for commercial vehicles throughout Nigeria for the past 25 years. It is there within the road traffic law of Lagos State, which at one time was the road traffic law of Nigeria. And every 6 months, every commercial vehicle is supposed to go for a roadworthiness certificate, which again is a condition precedent to obtaining a hackney permit or stage carriage permit. It has, however, come to our notice that some of our greatest opponents on this scheme, which we believe is laudable, have been the transport unions. This is rather surprising because, as I said, they have been used to doing this test, or it has been necessary for them to do it every 6 months. As many of us would realize, they have not been doing those tests properly, because the most unroadworthy vehicles on the roads are commercial vehicles. There is no doubt about that. Having said that, what we have introduced now is a private vehicle MOT test. We have let the commercial vehicles be for the time being, only in the interim. So we really do not understand why they are at our throats now. We have received reports that some of the transport unions, acting in unison, in conjunction, and in the devilish cooperation with the People's Democratic Party, have decided to cause mayhem on our roads, using as an excuse the introduction of the MOT test. We have been reliably informed that they have been meeting That is, the PDP as a party, which failed to win this state because the AG has a better program for the state, and the PDP, which is now trying to get in through the back door, has been meeting with transport unions using the MOT test as an excuse, and the unions have been planning as usual to cause a crisis by withdrawing the vehicles from our roads. As I said, this is absolutely ridiculous. It makes no sense. What we are doing now is for private vehicles. It has always been necessary for them to do their roadworthiness tests. It is in line with this that we have decided to alert the state and the nation. And of course, this was followed up by the terrible accident that happened yesterday. An accident that, if a proper roadworthiness certificate scheme had been in optimum operation, should not and would not have happened. An accident which I understand from today's papers has resulted in the death of more than 40 people, including infants. We appeal to the press, we appeal to the transport unions, we appeal to everybody. What we are trying to do is for the safety of our people, to stop the unnecessary, wanton, fratricide and killings and maimings on our roads. Before I carry on, I would ask the director who was on the scene to assess the situation to brief us about his findings and what has transpired between yesterday and today on the matter of this accident. Engineer Belua, please.
Thank you, Honorable Commissioner, Community Secretary, Directors, gentlemen and ladies of the press. Just this afternoon, together with the cameraman from the Ministry of Information and some journalists, we went to Ojo Elegba at the scene of the accident involving a motor vehicle and a tanker belonging to Mobile Nigerian PLC. The eyewitnesses at the spot, for that at yesterday evening when the accident happened, a car was trying to change the back tire on the bridge, and the motor was coming from Ikorodu Road, trying to descend into Western Avenue, Ojuelegba. On sighting the vehicle that changed the tire, the speed was a little bit high, but by the time it could react, in highway engineering, because something perception reaction time is just a matter of seconds for you to sight an object and to react promptly. But by the time he applies his brake will not grip. And in order to avoid hitting the vehicle, he swerved, and the motorway had to run to the other side of the expressway and to the service lane where this truck was going. Immediately, the impact was so much in collision danger that the wagon was detached from the truck. And instantly, the driver of the motorway died, and 40 people died at the spot. Some 16 people were recovered. They took them to orthopedic hospital. On getting there, 3 people died on the way. And this afternoon, we saw the remaining 13 people on bed with different degrees of fracture, ranging from compound fracture to epic. Some have already got the spinal cord damaged. We have children about 5-year-olds. We have fracture both on the hand and on the leg. Just by the time we were at the accident scene again, there was an Okada vehicle. Okada was going, and there's this Volvo car following it. The Okada vehicle perhaps reduced its acceleration, and the Volvo car, the brakes were not good enough. So he hit the Okada, and in an attempt to salvage himself, not to run over the railings, the vehicle somersaulted. And the owner of the vehicle was taken to the nearby hospital, West End Hospital. We went in with the cameraman from Ministry of Information to look at the man, and he had a big fracture on the left arm. And the Okada man almost lost his other arm too. So all these accidents, we now notice that the Volvo car, we found that the tire was not even good enough. The tire rod has already been detached. If the vehicle has been roadworthy, definitely that wouldn't have happened. We would have been able to apply the simple brake, and it will save the Okada man, and he will not be in the state of coma that he is now. So what justifies the fact that doing the MOT test with having functional brakes, horns, mirrors, wipers, trafficator, we do a lot, at least to reduce the fatality rate on our roads. This is just the report that we recorded this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Yesterday and today, this goes all crises. The transport unions who want to take every opportunity to cause mayhem on our roads, I ask them, are they protecting the interests of their members? A driver of a Molue loaded with 60 people without functional brakes could not even swerve and ran straight into an oncoming tanker. If that tanker had been carrying very volatile liquid like petrol or aviation fuel, there would have been a terrible explosion. Some of you have been to the site of that accident. It was so bad that the tractor was detached from the tanker and the Molue completely crumbled. And the Molue and the tractor landed, crushed the walls of Abalti barracks, and are presently still lying in there. This is why we're saying we need this MOT test. We want the unions to alert their drivers. They have lost one of their members. They should be commiserating with him. They should now be driving the message clearly into their drivers and members' heads that we need to have roadworthy vehicles on our roads. As I said, this is an ad hoc, impromptu press conference, and we would not like to take too much time. Perhaps if you'd like to ask one or two questions before we go away and perform some arduous tasks.